Hey everybody, it's Matt Milley here, owner and founder of Appointments Today. And in this short video, I'm going to go through the 7 bulletproof strategies that you need to successfully hire an inside sales agent. So let's get started. The first question I always get asked, when do I hire an ISA? Now, it's a pretty loaded question because hiring an ISA is about many different things. Number one, if you're hiring an ISA, you want a better quality of life. You want more time with your family. You want more time with your friends, and you really want more time to do some of the things that you love doing the most. Now that's the personal element of it. Going into the business side of it, you hire an ISA because you want to close more deals. Also, of course, hiring an ISA is a great attraction strategy to bring on agents. So let's get back to the question. When do I hire an ISA? First things first, you want to make sure that you've closed at least $5 million in volume. Here's why. Hiring an ISA is a marathon, it's not a sprint. It takes a significant amount of time for that ISA to close their first deal. In most cases, usually it's about 5 to 6 months before you get any type of a return on your inside sales investment. So you want to make sure that number one, you've got enough core capital set aside in the bank, and secondly, you want to make sure that you also have a system and a process and a training that's in place in order to give them the highest and best likelihood of being successful within your organization. So when to hire an ISA, you got to make sure that you have all of this in alignment first and make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons. Second one, how do I find and test applicants, inside sales reps? So let's start with finding an inside sales rep. You can find an inside sales rep through vendors. Maybe you have a mortgage partner, a mortgage lender that knows someone that's been in the field prospecting. Maybe you have a title representative that knows someone that has been in sales that would be a good fit for your organization. Those are the easiest places to start, and generally they're the most overlooked. But to find a good applicant, you're usually going to want to run some sort of Facebook ad, do a little searching on LinkedIn. You may even want to put an ad in on Craigslist, which if you go Craigslist, you do have to pay a little bit for all of these things, but they're relatively low investment. Craigslist you can do for about $25 a month. With Facebook, you're going to probably be somewhere around a couple $100s to run an ad. And of course, LinkedIn is probably going to be somewhere between $50 to $100. So you got to be really careful, of course, again, that you set out the right budget to find the right person. And of course, testing the applicants. We use a system called Criteria Corp, which generally will cost you about a little over $1,000. I wouldn't recommend going that route for your testing system. There are other tests that you can do, but looking at Criteria Corp, the reason why we use it is because it allows us to test the aptitude of the ISA. So of course, they got to be quick on their toes. It also allows us to test their ability to adapt to technology because they need to master your systems. The third element is it allows us to test their ability to type because they have to take great notes. And finally, it also allows us to test their sales personality profile and can they close a deal or not. It will test in every single element of that. So we know, are they a closer? Are they somebody that can cold call? Are they confident in their closing ability, etc.? It goes through all of that. It even goes through goal setting, motivation, how achievement oriented they are. These are all really important elements to an inside sales rep. The next one here is the interview process. What is your interview process? You got to have one. Our interview process is a recording of the ISA. We send them a copy of our script so that we can hear their voice. In addition to that, we also have them go through a phone interview. Once they go through that phone interview, we ask them some basic questions about their background, what they've done, what they know. We ask them some core value questions, which, by the way, if you don't have core values, it's very important that you do. We ask them questions based on core values so that we can make sure that they're the best fit for our organization. The next setup is going to be your face-to-face interview. Now, when someone gets to a face-to-face interview, that's pretty much you saying that this person's going to be a fit as long as they agree to terms. And we'll talk about terms here next. Compensation. Compensation is really important. The number one mistake that most realtors make is they pay the ISA on commission only. Here's the problem with that. It generally takes about 4 to 5 months for you, the agent, to close your first deal from that ISA's efforts. If the ISA doesn't get paid for 4 to 5 months, there's a high likelihood they're going to find another job. So what I would recommend doing is you want to start off with a website, www.salary.com. The great thing about salary.com is it is 100% free, and you can actually type in inside sales and it'll pull up inside sales specifically for your zip code. You're going to want to use that as a guide, but I'm going to give you another bulletproof strategy so that when you go to compensate your ISA, you're going to know what the going rate is for your marketplace. I would recommend that if your average sales price is in between $100,000 and $250,000, you're going to want to compensate them $24,000 a year, or of course $2,000 a month. That $2,000 a month will ensure that they're going to stay with you, that they're going to be motivated, and of course they're probably not going to be looking for other jobs, because that's the goal. We want to make sure that we retain them. And then you're going to want to give them, I'd say, at least $150 to $200 per every deal that you close. The next part of the compensation is, of course, if you go up into the higher average sales price, where if you're $250,000 and above, I'd recommend starting off at least $30,000 to $36,000 your base pay, because again, we want to compensate them enough so that they don't leave you for another job opportunity. But again, check salary.com as well. That's going to help give you some ideas as to where to base your compensation. The next very impactful one is tools, systems, and people. So tools, let's talk about tools. What phone system are you using? Are you using a voice over IP phone? Are you using a hardwired desk landline phone? You've got to make that decision. Are you using a cell phone? These are very important decisions that you must know before you bring in that inside sales rep, or at the very least get that figured out. The next one is systems. What lead generation systems are you using? Do you have a lead generation system? I would recommend RedX, Falcon 7. Those are great systems for starting off, for getting your expired data, your for sale by owner data, and you can also get neighborhood data from there as well. And you also want to, of course, make sure that you pay just a little bit extra for the dialer. That's one of the big mistakes that I see a lot of agents make. They'll try to cut back on cost, but you want that automated dialer. It's usually about $100 more to have an automated dialer. Trust me, it will make a huge difference in your business. The last one here is people. You're probably wondering, well, what do you mean by people? Well, when you hire an inside sales rep, you have to have, at the very least, enough time to train this person, hold them accountable, go over scripting with them, and practice with them. I would actually recommend hiring a sales manager, someone who's already been in the field. Now, sales manager, they're probably going to go for somewhere between $50,000 and $60,000 a year. So it's a significant investment. And after we get through this video, I'm going to share with you some ways that you can offset a lot of these costs. The next part here is training and accountability. You want to have at the bare minimum 240 hours of training. 80 hours of training should be done within the first 2 weeks. And then every single week after that, you should commit at least 1.5 to 2 hours to role playing and literally going through challenges, bottlenecks, and obstacles with the ISA. Because let's face it, it is a position that needs constant attention. And the only way that you're going to be able to train them and hold them accountable is to make sure that you've done it and you've mastered it yourself. Or you have a sales manager that has done that as well. And the very last thing, and I always get asked, is what results should I be expecting? Where should I be? Well, I want to make sure that I hit home on this point. Hiring an ISA, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So many people think that it's the golden goose. I'm going to hire an ISA and all my problems will be solved. I'm going to stop calling leads. I'm going to stop doing all the things that I was doing to generate revenue in hopes that this inside sales rep is going to save my business and make it flower, make it grow. In a lot of cases, what people find is that you can't stop doing what you were doing before because the results will be minimal within year one. Generally speaking, most people see about a 2 to 3x return in year one is pretty common. I've seen all the way up to 4x, but again, I'd say 2 to 3x would probably be a good baseline and somewhere to start. So again, if you guys want to simplify this, here at Appointments Today, we cut out all of this. We'll literally help you get rid of having to hire on a sales manager. We'll help you so that you don't have to incur all these extra expenses. And the great thing about it is that most of our services, we literally start off at as low as $1,000 a month and go up to $4,000. So you're going to find that you're going to save a lot of money. You're going to cut really a lot of costs out. And at the same time, the investment is going to be in a proven system that has worked across all areas of the country. So I hope you got a lot of value out of this video. And again, if you want to go and get a little bit more information, reach on out to me and I'd love to have a quick consultation with you and or your team members. See ya.